Hello guys, welcome back to OK Jank. So, it's been a couple of weeks since BCS London. Just managed to kind of finish building the Valkyrion Astral Planes deck. So I'm just going to bring that to you now. Obviously, new starter. Part of the new start is the same on-ride draw. You'll need the Astral Plane, and you'll need a lot of force markers, which I've got a big pile of here. Like this new style of them from the trial deck. I think I've mentioned that previously. Really a big fan of it. So then, obviously, with running that, there's a couple of grade 3s that you need to be running. So, 4 is Quaking Heavenly Dragon, Astorius Dragon. It's got continuous. If you've got 5 force markers on your Vanguard, your back rear guard behind it becomes an Astral Plane, and then Can't Blast 1, and you get a force marker on your Vanguard, and then if another act ability once per turn is if the Astral Plane has a unit on it, you can Soul Blast 1 and draw a card, which is it's not that impressive, but just the counter blast where it lets you get the force marker is really useful. Not using a whole lot of resources in this deck unless you're rushing, which you kind of want to be. You want to get to it as soon as you can so that you swing for big numbers. You can get more benefit out with the deck if you have the Astral Plane open and a unit on it. Then 4, Gleaming Lord Uranus. Again, if you've got 5 force markers, get an Astral Plane, and then when placed, Soul Blast 2 and get a force marker on your Vanguard. So running 4 of that, so you've got 8 grade 3s. Then for consistency, I am running 4 Valkyrion. I always assumed I would just be running 3. If I do run 3, I'll show you the card I'll replace one of them for, but I'm running 4 for consistency. There's been a couple of times where I've not seen it when I want it, because it's been damage checked or something when it's been at 3, so I've just recently upped that to 4. Then running 4 Prometheus, just lets you filter, search for your grade 5s, your grade 2s and things. And also, if you've got Valkyrion in hand and you've got this in hand, you can call this, lets you cycle the top deck. So if it's grade 1 and you're like, I want to go for 5 drive checks, gets you another card deeper. So it's just a useful tech just to give some extra power to your Vanguard, which is going to be swinging for big numbers anyway. Then I'm running 3 Pelphorus of Auspicious Light, which is during the battle it was boosted, it gets 5,000 power, which is good, just extra power. And then when it attacks, you can Soul Blast 1, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, put up to 1 grade 3 or greater from among them into your hand, and put the rest into your soul. So it builds the soul, which you're only really using for Gleaming your Lord Uranus, and then maybe the 1 draw off Astorius Dragon, but it's the searching and the filtering for the grade 5s. You could up this to 4 in place of Valkyrion, but it's not the one I would swap them out for. I'll show you that later. So there's 3 of that. Then, because as I found out in London, it's quite a Axel heavy meta at the moment. I'm running 3 Heavenly Wind Sorcerer Burnett, which is, if your Astral Plane has a unit on it, this unit gets 5,000 power, and then you can also Soul Blast 3, choose one of your Astral Deities, so your Valkyrion, unless they bring out a new one in the new set, which I'm hoping they do. Return when that unit then would attack, it fights all your opponent's front row. So if it is an Axel clan, it's a lot they have to drop to guard each individual one, or they just wipe the front row, which is really good. So that's your other source of major soul blasting. So that's why they kind of pair up quite well. Because that'll be soul charging 2 or 3, depending if you don't hit grade 3, and this soul blasts 3. So it's always pretty good, especially when Valkyrion swings. You put the trigger checks, the drive checks into the soul, so you're always going to have quite a nice soul. And the grade 1s, for Atlas of Heavenly Sphere, this is the MVP of the deck, really underappreciated I feel. Vanguard when placed Soul Charge 1, don't really care so much about that, it's just a Soul Charge. But then Cart Blast 1, you can put it into Soul and draw a card, and then if your Vanguard's an Astral Poet, you get an Imaginary Gift on your Vanguard. This I kind of want to test in the Himiko and the Artemis builds, because it's a Cart Blast, goes into Soul and draws you one. So you build in Soul, you're drawing a card. The only downside is that you're not getting the full benefit because you're not running Astral Poets, but I might play around with it a little bit in other decks, but it's really good for when you need to draw and you're not quite got Valkyrian in hand, or you've not quite got the force markers you need, you've got 2 damage open, I always seem to fix that situation. But then the grade 1 that you do want to be riding, Astral of the Full Heavens. When placed, you can draw a card and then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and then if this is on Vanguard, you soul charge 2. You want to ride that just for the draw filtration at the beginning of game. If you've mulliganed and you've not quite got what you need, say you're missing the grade 2 or a grade 3, this will help. And at the end of the battle, it boosted Soul Blast 2 and return this card to your hand. Is the rearguard skill. So you put this behind Perforos. Perforos will gain the 5k because it's boosted. You swing, and so you don't have to use his skill, but then you can do it. It's back to hand, and then next turn you can call it again to draw and filter again. So it's continuous filtration, continuous shield, and it just makes use of the soul. That does get built up quite a lot. In terms of resources, I think I said that wrong earlier. I said you're not using soul. I mean, you're not using Counterblast for much. And there's a couple of cards that use Counterblast, but that's it's mostly the soul, which you build up steadier and more consistently than in the old Himiko. The new Himiko build doesn't really matter because you're getting a lot of soul blast reductions. The final, not quite the final grade 1. 3 deputized bears, just a filter. When placed, look at top 7 for a Valkyrion. Put it into your hand and shuffle your deck, and then if you added a card to your hand, if your Vanguard has 2 or less force markers, you put a card from your hand into your soul. So either way, I'm running it at 3 because I don't really want to be placing it when I've only got 2 force markers. I want to get the full benefit of a free search for Valkyrion, so I'll be at 3 or 4 or even at 5 force markers or more before I tend to call this. But it's a 3 of because I do want to be seeing it. I've tried it as a 2 of and you don't see it quite often enough, so a 3 of, which is why it seems to be a consistent one. But 4 I think would be too many. It would force you to call it, and then your hand's basically full of grade 5, so you're not doing anything other than maybe putting the grade 5 back into soul. Then the final grade 1 is a White Wall Sorcerer. I can't even Vegeta, I think. When placed on Guardian Circle, count the last one. This unit gets 10,000 power until end of turn. And if your Vanguard's an Astral Poet, get an Imaginary Gift Force on the Vanguard. So, just for placing it and counterblasting, it's 20k shield. If you're on grade 3, you will get an extra force marker. So this is the one I would up if I would get rid of a Valkyrion for it, for another one of these, just to, so that you're seeing this more consistently. But that's why it says a 1 of at the minute. It's just a nice little tech for mid to late game when your hands may be getting worn down a bit, your deck's looking a little bit thin, so you're having to guard quite heavily because you can't rely on heal triggers and things being seen as your damage check. So you slap this down, get another force marker, maybe survive the turn, and then you've got another 10k on your Vanguard for this battle, because that gets 10k, and then on your opponent's turn you've got the force marker that it gives you. So that's just a nice little tech. I'd maybe up to 2 instead of another Valkyrion. Triggers: 4 heal, 4 draw PG, 2 normal draw, 4 crit, and another 2 crit. So 6 crit, 6 draw, and 4 heal, just to round off the deck nicely. The draws are nice because it keeps your hand size big, helps you dig through the deck. And then obviously you want to be filtering as much as you can, but draw is nice. The only downside to normal draw triggers still is they are 10k behind every other trigger in shield value. It'd be nice to see them go up to 10k shield, so they're only 5k behind, because even though you're drawing into an extra card, it might be a dead card, you might draw into grade 3, which doesn't help defensively. So I'd like them to be 10k, but we'll see. But that is the deck profile for my Astral Planes deck. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.